Hello. I'm going to do a video to introduce myself so people can probably be a little bit more personal with my journey. Um, my name is Julian Cooper. Um, Julian Cooper de la Blanca. I have my own performance group. Um, and I am a voguer. And I teach voguing as well. Um, and that is my artistic expression of my art. Um, this is something that is extremely personal and is embarrassing because I remember the things that I went through when I was a kid, when I was very young. It wasn't the fact that people made fun of me. Um, no, family members or nothing. They would point it out. It was just the fact that someone would say, they would look at my chest and they would see that the right side wasn't as developed as the left side. So it wasn't obvious in the sense of I dismissed it. So I would dismiss it in the sense that I wouldn't make it oh, really? Like, I wouldn't even try to respond to it. But it always bothered me because I would look at everyone else when we would go to a pool or we would go to the beach and with family members, and I would put a t-shirt on. So I would put a t-shirt over um, even going to the beach when I was, until I was mid-teens. And it was just the fact that I didn't feel normal. But no one ever said anything about it. Until literally someone did mention it, and I was discussing with my friends that the person pointed out and was like, do you know that one side of your chest is larger than the other? And I thought that was just, what? Really? Did you not know that I was born with a chest? I have a chest. I have skin. So I know what's going to be different on my body. And that's when I was like, okay, this is something that you're affected by because the person's way of expressing something's different on you wasn't probably the way I wanted to hear it. No one knew, doctors, what was going on my whole entire life. They had no idea that I had Poland syndrome, which is when your right side of your chest is not equally as developed as your left side of your chest. And it doesn't look normal. It's not even. And I didn't know if anybody knew anything about it. And the first time I went to a doctor was in 1996. And they had no idea what was going on. What they had stated was that I should get a pec implant. And I was like, I'm not going to get a pec implant because I didn't feel comfortable with that. Because if you're not developed in the sense of, you have a six pack, or if you are a semi bodybuilder, and then you're just toned, you have one part of your body that's naturally developed. It's naturally fat. It's fat. Then you have something that's flat, and then you put a muscle, something that's artificial muscle, it's going to stand out. So I was like, I don't really feel that I want something on my chest that way. And I didn't want anything foreign in my chest. I didn't feel comfortable with that at all. So that was 1996. And what happened in 2015 is that I actually saw a show on cable, and they're talking about botch operations. And one of their clients had asked, have you ever denied anyone a botched operation, an operation? And the doctors both stated yes, when they're young. If a girl wants an implant or something, we would say no because they need to develop, unless they have Poland syndrome, which is one side of their breast larger than the other, or a male, one side of his chest larger than the other, and it's not fully developed, which is on your right side of your body. I Googled it like crazy. I went on Google and I decided we need to find out what's going on with my body. We need to see what's going on with me as an individual. And I did. And I found out that it's something dealing with the fact that you didn't get enough blood within your mother's womb. And there are two forms of the syndrome. One is that your fingers can be connected as if they were webbed, like webbed fingers, or you can develop the right side of your chest or it doesn't develop. The right side of your chest can be an issue, which is primarily what happens. And there's unique cases of men, so that's why not everyone would state, well, we know what's going on. And I spoke to my primary care doctor, and they went through the whole entire thing with the insurance and see if anyone accepted my insurance. The appointment was accepted. So November, election day, I went to a doctor in between Madison and Park or around that area, and they gave me great news in the sense that what they were going to do was that I didn't want to deal with the pec issue at all. I didn't want that. I didn't want the pec issue. I didn't want to deal with that situation. And he understood that, and he was very nice about explaining to me, first, I'll accept it, I'll do it, but your insurance will not take care of this because it will be more of cosmetic surgery than it would be an issue. I didn't feel that it would be cosmetic surgery personally because I've been dealing with this all my life and covering myself with t-shirts and thick sweaters and making sure that someone doesn't have eye contact and then follow down on my chest. It's a personal issue. It's something that a lot of people either are ashamed of or they dismiss it and they don't even see it within their life. And that was me. He had stated that he can take fat from my stomach and then transfer it to my chest, my right side where I'm touching it now. And then, yeah, so that was exactly what I just did. What I'm doing right now was a relief. And it was just like, oh my goodness, I found someone that understands my body and would understand it and would not make me feel uncomfortable. So it would deal with, I'm assuming, lipo, and then it would go to the chest. And then he had stated that I might have to go back, within a couple of years because it's dealing with fat transfer. So your fat can die and dissolve, and then you would have to do it again. So this is not a procedure that it's fun. It's something that you have to do probably more than once within your life, and you have to have 2 operations in one. Even though it's lipo, it's still, they have to take out fat from your stomach and they have to put it in your chest. 2 operations in one shot to help you feel more comfortable with your body. It's exactly what I want and what I need just to feel a little bit more comfortable as an individual. It takes 2 hours to do. The procedure itself is $7,500. Yeah. And anesthesia and hospital stay for the 2 hours. One is $2,500, and I think that's the hospital stay just for 2 hours. And then the anesthesia is $1,500, plus each one has taxes. And then you have to give, when you make your appointment and you're sure that you're able to do it, when the person is speaking to you, and that's the receptionist, you have to give $500 up front because that's stating that you're actually going to do the appointment and it's going forward. Plus taxes. I do not have over $12,000, $13,000 to actually do this. And that's why I'm asking anyone that probably understands what I'm going through, or people that are sympathetic to just a change of someone's physique and feeling a little bit more comfortable with themselves. I'm a man that's going to be 45 years old. And November 28th is my birthday. I'm 45 years old. So I've been dealing with this all my life. And I'm a New Yorker. I live in Brooklyn. And even when I do the operation, I can't even work on my arm, move my arm, be flexible or dance. And if you Google voguing, you understand that you have to use your arms as well as your body. I can't move my arms for 5 weeks in general. So there's no voguing. So there's no active movements within my body. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on with me right now. And spoke to my mother about it, and I spoke to family members. I spoke to my performance group members. Some members know about it, close friends, god sister, and people that are extremely close to me, and they understand what's going on, and they've never mentioned it, and they've never even seen it because I cover it up very well, or I don't even address it. So that's my intimate story. I wanted to be a little bit more intimate and show people that this is not something that that I'm joking with. And so it's just dealing with, again, this is the left side of my chest. As you can see, I'm able to move. And then this is the right. There's nothing, you know, it's just a flat, it's, you can hear, you know, so it's like, this is a flat surface. And if you see straight hand, nothing. And here I can grab, I can't grab. So it's just, it's no muscle, muscle. And that's what it's called. So if you want to Google it, it's called Poland syndrome. And also some actors, actually, I was looking and I was like, oh, some famous people actually have this issue, and the issue dealing with themselves personally. If everyone Googles, you'll see Ted Danson stated in 2000, I forgot what magazine and what article, he said that he was picked on his whole entire life and he dealt with it. And I was like, oh my goodness, so I'm not alone. I mean, you feel alone. You feel that you're by yourself because no one else probably you bumped into. I only know someone from high school that actually had the same exact thing. And the only reason we knew about it is because when we finished school and it was a summertime, I was going over the bridge on Brooklyn Bridge. He was coming from Manhattan, and we met in the middle by, you know, by accident and just, you know, saying hi. And we both had white t-shirts and it was hot. So I kind of gave him a hug. How you doing? He said, how you doing? And then I looked at him and we both pointed at the same time like, wait, you have the same thing I have on my chest. I never knew this in high school. I knew you for 3 years and we never knew. And, you know, we were like 125 pounds. So you probably wouldn't see that. But we pointed and we were like, oh, we're not alone. And that was the only person I knew that actually had it, besides a family member that was a great cousin in North Carolina. And I was 7 years old and it was a woman. So it was a woman that actually had one breast larger than, you know, one breast that was developed and one was not. And I pointed and said, oh, she's just like me. And I got in trouble by my grandmother because she said, you know, you were being rude, because they didn't see it as being a problem for me, I'm assuming. But I saw, oh, I'm not alone, you know. So that was the first time I ever felt that I wasn't alone. Just woke up, eyes are red, everything is going through it. I just, you know, I did the hair. So thank you just for listening and being a part of my journey. This is Julian Cooper. Blessings, much Ashé. Luz.